Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm going to paint this morning. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do it on Wednesday mornings, but I had a lot going on yesterday, so sometimes I just have to switch it around to fit into my life instead of always forcing myself to do things when it doesn't work. So I'm glad anyone can stop in and say hi this morning. I just dropped my daughter off at the bus stop. I have my coffee. I'm actually a little bit more organized today than usual because I have my stuff out, I have my paints out and ready to go. So I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. It was, I think, the most days I've had off work, like, ever, like, including childbirth. I think each of my children, I only took a week off with each one. So anyway, I'm going to paint. Let me turn this around. I asked you guys what you wanted to see me paint. A lot of great options, and I wrote them all down because they all sounded like fun to me. I'm going to paint this. I think the lady at market said it's an ornamental kale. And isn't it beautiful? I had bought 3 of them and did a little photo shoot. So, and these are one of those things that seem to be alive in people's yards still here in the Northeast. Good morning, Jennifer. Hi, Belinda. Hi, Julie. Good morning. Okay, so I'm gonna, let me have a little sip of coffee here. I'm gonna try to talk more about my process. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Okay, so what I always do is put down a layer of transparent paint. And I learned a big lesson about paintbrushes. My little tiny, I use this tiny paintbrush when I do like little dots and bird's eyes and things. I hardly ever use it, but it's all frayed and awful, and I desperately need a new one. And of course, I don't have time to go online and order one. It was quicker to just stop at AC Moore, so I went and got a cheap one, and it does not work. So I would never think that a little tiny brush with those little bristles would make that much of a difference, but it does. So I've got to go to Rosemary & Company website and get myself a new Series 301 number 2 brush because it lasted a long time. I think I just probably didn't clean it correctly, and this is what happens. Sometimes I'm in too much of a rush for my own good. So we had a great holiday here. It was really busy. And I'm actually going to have my artwork in a really cute shop in York, Pennsylvania, which is a neighboring town. And I just took things there, and I need to take a few larger paintings because she's a beautiful front window. So I have to run back there later today. But yesterday I had my mother-in-law at a doctor's appointment and a stress test, so I feel a little bit behind with my real job, so I've got to focus on that today. That's how life is. It all gets done eventually, right? I always stress myself about time and how much I'm getting done, and really, like, way too much, and I need to just let things unfold. Hi, Lou. How are you? Good morning. All right. I should pull back here so you can see my reference. I'll try and talk about what I'm thinking about. So what I'm working on right now, I'm putting in like the light pinks that come forward, and I'm using, and in the mornings I forget stuff, permanent rose. I love this Winsor Newton permanent rose. I've gotten different kinds, but that's my fave. So I'm just roughly, with transparent color, putting in, and I just have the grid here on my, can you see it on my canvas? And I have a grid on the picture. I also had a few commissions. I still have more commissions I need to finish too. And getting ready for the show. I've been applying to some outdoor art shows. I hope I get into a few of those. But then I get overwhelmed thinking, do I have enough paintings to do a few outdoor art shows? But it's just going to inspire me to get more done. Okay. And this, All right, let me clean my brush off. I love the glow. Here, let me move this over a little bit. The glow in here. I think I'm going to put, Arlene, I use it, and the app's called Grid. You just download the app Grid and then bring your photo. It shows you where to put the photo in, and you just put your grid right on there. So it's super easy. Oh, and I was saying I love the glow in here. So I think I've got to add in a little bit of Indian yellow in there to remind myself to keep that glow. One of the things that is attractive to me in this are all the different greens. I've been trying to expand my green horizon. So I feel sometimes like I just use sap green and mix it with other colors, and I'm trying to get to know other greens and how they look, how they behave. You're welcome, Marlene. Yeah, so in some ways I'm ready to be back in the routine. Today's the first day my youngest Isabel went back to school. So I ran her to the bus stop. So there is something good about the routine. She was home yesterday and did a lot of laundry for me, so that made me very happy. So when I got home, I wasn't quite as overwhelmed with everything I needed to do. Let's see. I'm going to put some darks in here. Now I try to think about, the other thing I'm trying to learn more about, that was Indian yellow, Julie. The other thing I'm trying to think about are cools and warms, because if your shadows are warm, usually your highlights are cool, and vice versa. And I think that in this, the shadows are warm and the highlights are cool. So I'm going to try to keep the colors that I want to push back warmer. That makes sense. And keeping my colors clean has always been a little bit of a challenge. And that's so important. Like, you don't want to get your colors muddy. You want to keep them separate pieces so that you don't, if you work into things too much, everything ends up getting muddy. And that is the last thing I want. Good morning, Dawn. Hi, Liz. Happy Thursday. Dawn, you have to let me know how Roger did yesterday. Can text me, I've been wondering. Good morning, Joanne. How are you? So I have a lot of things coming up. I need to add to my website about this event that I'm doing in York. It's a First Friday tomorrow night. And this just happened like right before Christmas, so I haven't had time to do any kind of additions to my website. I haven't added any of my new paintings. It's just not quite enough time to get it all done. But I try. Happy New Year. I'm excited for the new year. I think it's going to be a good year. I thought I would get a lot more planning done over the holiday too. I said that to my daughter this morning. That went so fast I didn't get nearly enough done, as much done as I thought I would with planning, with my art stuff, with doing fun things. But that's always the way. I always think I'll get more done than I do. But I did watch a couple movies, did a few fun things. We went to Terrain, which is one of my favorite stores, and I got some great painting reference there. I was taking pictures as much as I was doing anything else, of course. I always want to go. We don't live too far from, okay, I'm trying to think where this little thing would be right here. That little dark reddish spot. So I'm really looking at where the darks and the shadows are. That's all in shadow. Shadow. Good morning, Linda. Payne's Gray. Oh, no. Well, I do have something like Payne's Gray here on my palette, but I wasn't using it yet because that's an opaque color. I guess I'm just using like a brown. What's the brown? Rembrandt's transparent brown. Mixed in with some of these colors. It's this one. And but I do have something very similar to that on my palette. Oh, gotcha. Whoops, let me move my coffee cup. Yeah, I always want my daughter to come help me do this in the morning so that I can paint more and think less, but she's at school. Maybe in the summertime. I do want to make like a real learning video too. I have all the resources to do it. I just have to find the time and make it happen. But it's one of the things that's on my list. I think it would be fun. I'm doing a workshop here in Lancaster in April. If anybody lives nearby and wants to come, at a beautiful place. That I need to prepare for. I'm also doing an artist talk at the Lidditz Art Association, which is in, that reminds me I wanted to join the Lidditz Art Association. I'm doing that in April also. And then I was asked to have my work in a shop in April, and I applied to an art show. So I don't know if I can do all those things, but I can at least put it out there and see what happens. And the things that fall into place are meant to happen, right? Hey, Siri. Oh, no. Oh, I always do that. Alexa, stop.
I don't know what you mean by, I always do that, Alexa, stop.
I do. I always get the girls confused here. I'm always calling Siri and Alexa. I get them confused. I can't say their names too loud or they'll both talk to me. It's a little crazy. I thought we'd be like this already in life with Siri and Alexa. And it is a great thing. Like, I love coming into my studio and just being able to ask for what I want to listen to. But on the downside, I get them confused and they're both talking to me. Anybody else have that problem? Do you have both in your house or just a Siri or an Alexa? We have a friend who is always into the latest things, so we usually have them, and they can drive me crazy. Hi, Sandy. Good morning, Rosa. Okay, let me keep going here. Thinking of my darks and my lights still. So this is a little shadow in here. Oh, my paint was a little wet. It might run, but that's all right. I don't care. So one of the lessons with this one, always for me, is that it's a little complicated. There's a lot going on, but I have wondered what you use to sign your paintings. Oh, I just take away the paint. I use this. It's called a, what is it called? Oh, it's worn off just about. It's called a Kemper wipeout tool. So it's just a rubber end thing, and I actually sign my name. I pull the paint away. I love how it looks. When I'm doing a big painting, it's hard to plan ahead to be able to do it that way, but when I try to sign my name like the traditional way that artists used to do it, oh my gosh, I can't. My signature's awful. So that's what I do. All right, let me see where else. I have this. Now I need to not overthink this. This is here. This, oh, this I need to bring out more. That's my problem. This needs to come out here. All right, and I think I'm gonna do kind of blues, turquoise maybe in the background. Now in the photo, this is my arm. I'm not gonna put that in there. I was holding it in the light. Trying to find the little spots where the background color peeks through. This looks like a really dark spot. I'm going to push that back in here. I'm just going to double check for my really dark darks. And I was, this morning before I ran Isabel to the bus stop, I had finished my last, what's that? That's all you chose? Ornamental kale. Yeah, that's what the lady at market said it was called, ornamental kale. And I don't know, yeah, the difference between cabbage and ornamental kale. I guess that's something I should learn. It's kale's so good for you now. Well, I guess it always was, but. Of course, I want to try to eat healthier this year. New Year's is always a good time to start that. I'm not a bad eater, but okay, what do we think of that? You have too much light on there. Let me turn the light away a little bit. Okay. So, let me see. I'm going to do a couple more lights, my pinks, and then I will get out my fun little R&S paint sticks. That's good, I think so. Sometimes I like the stage of the painting just as much as the finished. Okay. I'm getting out my paint sticks that I love. Here they are. Cute little bucket of paint sticks. I've been having fun with these because I think they loosen up my style a little bit. Because like when I'm doing this, I want to keep it loose and not be, you know, too lost in the details. Get you straight there. Is that good? Okay. I'm actually getting used to painting with this right in front of me. And these get a little bit of a film on them. But they're so much fun. So I clean it off with my paper towel like this before because it gets film one there. Dries out a little bit, even though it's in the tubes. Pinks. I did get a couple new pinks in these. I would love to have a whole set of these paint sticks. Art supplies are just too much fun. That's what I spend most of my money on. Sell a painting, buy a new art supply. Good morning, Ellen. How are you? My gesso is pretty slippery. It's called a ampersand gesso panel. I'll show you. It's can you see in there? No, not really. It's an ampersand gesso board, and I paint the sides of it gold. I painted silver for someone who bought a painting, and that looked good too. I wanted to try a new paint like that, a new metallic paint that a friend recommended, and do a few silver and a few gold. Yes, Happy New Year, Ellen. I hope you had a good holiday. Hope you're feeling well. How are your knees? That's what you had just done, didn't you? Your knees? All right, I'm pulling away a little bit of paint here because it's running. I have it a little too wet, which is fine. I should let those happy accidents just happen, maybe. But then when I go in with the opaque paint, sometimes it doesn't stick like I'd like it to. Let me just get rid of this. Okay, I think that's good. I don't know what brush I was using. I guess this is it. Oh, I wasn't using a brush. That's why. Sorry about that. Okay. Looking what colors I need here. This is a really fun one. What's this called? This one's called Malachite Green. Oh yeah, there's the name. Well, you can't even see it. Malachite Green. Let me see. Thanks, Julie. Oh, so it was I saying I started over here beside me. I was just gessoing this panel. It's just a big white panel. I had finished the one that I was working on, one with the sunflower, and finished that up. And now I'm ready to dive into a 36 by 36. And I can't wait. I have absolutely no idea what it's going to be. And I usually don't. I usually just get the panel ready, and somewhere along the way, I figure it out. I don't know how it happens, but I don't put any pressure on it. And I'll be looking at something and I'll think, oh, that's what I want to paint next. I was thinking it's a little bit like going on vacation with a stranger. You have to be pretty sure you're going to like it for a while because you're going to be with it for a while. Oops. Isn't it pretty? I love it too. And sometimes I add in some colors that aren't really necessarily there. Yeah, it's called, there it is, Malachite Green. Can you see that? Yeah, I love that color. And I like a little gold. Yeah, so it's definitely going to be a floral, I think, but I want to try and be a little more whimsical with it, a little freer. The last one I did, it was a sunflower, and I like it, but there was something that was a little more, I don't know. I mean, I like it very much, but I think it's a little more formal than I'd like to be. I've been striving to keep things loose and not formal. All right, I have 2 more I'm going to play with in here, and then I'll start going in with my, what time is it? 7:30. We're right on schedule. How's that look? Sometimes this part of it, like I think it would look cool as a pattern on fabric when it's just this loose. Okay, I need a sip of coffee. Somehow my hands are a mess. Look how messy I am already this morning. Okay, and I'm gonna mix up colors. I get lazy and don't always do this, but I think it really helps keep a cohesive painting when you mix up a set of colors, at least a few of the colors that are pretty key in the painting. Should never be lazy, except maybe on Saturday mornings. Thank you. Okay, let me clean this up because I don't want these have all the medium in them and they're wet, and if I add more wet it'll just get messy. So now I use pretty much paints out of the tube. And I use, like, to clean my brushes and stuff, I use a product. What do I do with the jar? I've been trying to experiment and find things that are healthier to use, especially since I'm down in my basement. My lovely studio. I use this as my brush cleaner. It's a non-toxic brush cleaning solution. It's empty. I have it all in my one of these little things that keeps it sealed up. And then I open that up to clean my brushes. And then I have a little one here. This has a regular, like, not turpentine, but terpenoid or whatever is in there. But that's kind of gross. I think I need to take that to the waste management place and put fresh in there. Okay, so I want vivid pinks and some cool greens. So let me start with the pinks. So I'm using my, can you see there? Okay, permanent rose. And then I have used, to mix into pinks to keep them from not going to like a chalky color. I use this Gamblin Radiant Magenta that I have up here in the corner. So I'm going to add some of that into my color. That's pretty spot on what I need. Put that here. I would see artists that do this and then clean up their paint and just put it in a nice little dollop, but somehow by the time I do that, I don't have anything left. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Something else I have to learn is using a palette knife a little better. Let's go a little darker. And I would like this a little lighter. So that looks really pretty. Then I need to think of my dark, dark red areas. So this is magenta, which is a nice dark red. And I'm gonna a little bit out separate, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of ultramarine blue, which is right here, into that to make a really dark red and those deep crevices kind of. And I'll do this, and how do I want to make that just a little lighter? And maybe I'll just take a little bit of this and add it in to keep that kind of cohesive, or definitely cohesive. All right, that's a pretty color. Okay, so now I need some greens to use the other Gamblin Radiance as well. Yes, I do. I have a lot of them. I might be missing one. Now that you remind me of that, I think I have Gamblin Radiant Turquoise. How fun is that? Let's play with that a little bit. We could put that in some of our greens maybe. So this, I love this color up here. This is like one of my very favorite colors of oil paint. It's Vasari Video Blue. Vasari is very expensive, and you have, when you go on their website, you have to buy $100 worth at a pop, I guess, because to make it worthwhile for shipping and everything. But boy, they're worth it. They're lovely paints. And this, I got this on a whim the last time. It's flake white, and it's wonderful. Like, it's a whole different animal than regular titanium white. Okay, so this is the Vasari Video Blue, and then this is the Radiant Turquoise. And I'm going to play with adding them into, I've been playing around with learning about, let me make sure I have the right one, and I actually had one from a long time ago, not phthalo green, that's not what I want. What do I want? Cobalt green, here it is. This is a Gamblin paint that I have too. So when I used to paint, I would just horribly just pick colors, and I didn't know what my base color should be or anything. So I have a whole bin of random colors, which is really fun to dive into. Sometimes when I can't quite mix a color I just go into that bin. So I'm using the cobalt blue. I'm going to try it with this Radiant Turquoise, see what we get. That's fun, maybe a little too blue. See how I can't quite scrape that well? I don't know if it's my palette knife or my palette. I like that color. I'll hold on to that. And then I'm going to mix it with the Video Blue Extra Pale. That's like those cool greens that are up in there. I need a little bit more, more green in there. They look very similar, don't they? This is definitely a little more turquoise, and I'm gonna hold on to that. Now I think I'll try sap green, which is very transparent, and I'm gonna add some Indian yellow into it. And that's definitely a nice green. And then I'll add a little bit of, I think this color is another Vasari. No, it's not this brilliant lemon. What is this color? Oh, I think it's this. Michael Harding. It's genuine Naples yellow light, I think. It looks like Michael Harding came out with some beautiful new colors. I might need to buy. Because really you can mix any color. They say that. I don't know. I can't quite mix just any color. I don't find that very easy to do. Sometimes when I'm like needing a red or something, if I don't have the right color, I can't get it. I guess it all comes with practice or something. But that's okay. I love having all these colors. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of this in there too. Let's see how that looks. That's a lot of different greens, which is what I wanted. Okay. I think I'm ready. Okay. Can you see okay? good, right? All right. Now, my goal, which I don't always do, is to go in and put down a brush stroke and then not fuss with it. That makes all the difference. If you can force yourself to do that, after a while it becomes a habit. I'm not totally there yet, but my goal is just to put the stroke down and not move the paint around, because that's what keeps your colors fresh. I have a little really dark area right here. So I think of it at this phase of my painting as pushing and pulling. Like I'm pushing some things backwards, pulling other things forward. Right now I'm just pushing colors, pushing back where the color recedes, where the kale recedes. Now I'm thinking in here, this is in shadow, but it glows a little bit. So I might pull away a little bit of my color there and see if I can get that to have a little bit of a glow. How do I do that? So I want it to be dark and go backwards, but not be a dense color, because you can see the glow of it, color coming through, I guess. And this too, a little bit. This is a little bit like that. And then the other thing I do, I think of it as dancing around. I dance around the painting. I'll work on an area for a little bit, and then I'll go to another area. Instead of doing, like when I used to do watercolors, I would focus on one area of the painting for a really long time until it was finished, and then I move on to the next area. But with my oil painting, I like to dance around and bring the whole thing kind of together at one time, because I think it adds to it looking cohesive. Thank you. Have a little bit more coffee. Does everybody have one of these Yetis? I think they're like the most popular things right now. And I keep my coffee and it keeps it hot. I could take this to work and drink it in 2 hours and it's still hot. Thank you very much. Good morning. Okay, so I'm going to do some of my dark green areas. Right in here. I can tell this is the part of the painting where I feel like I have to think a lot more. I forget to talk, but let me know if you have any questions. Until I get this kind of mapped in a little bit. See how it's starting to evolve out a little bit. I love that push and pull. I have a lot of my darks. This is a dark here. A little bit of glow of green there. I'm going to remember that. So I'm going to do this. And then I love when, like, see how that mixes with the paint stick. I love that, how when it mixes it. I don't know, it just looks cool. Kim, it all depends. I generally like to have the paint underneath. I think it just, but you don't have to. I do mostly because then I don't use any medium in the rest of it. So it's like my base coat where it's what keeps it all wet, I guess, as I paint, having that little bit of color underneath. And it's like maps it out for me, so I feel comfortable, like I know where things are kind of going to go. You know, you could probably just do a whole coat of one color and work into it. You wouldn't really have to do it this way. The other thing I do sometimes that a lot of people like, and I should play with a little bit more, is I've done a few painted on a magenta, just painting the whole background magenta with like an acrylic paint, and then going back in over top of that for my painting. I sold a lot of my paintings. I did that way. I just haven't done it for a little bit, but maybe I should play with that again. So I'm still learning. I'm always experimenting and trying new things and seeing what works. I mean, I would love to someday be able to play around with all different kinds of paints. I originally always did watercolors and gouache because I worked in marketing and advertising. Well, I still do, but years ago, when we did things, we would have to do, you know, I did my own illustrations for projects and stuff. So that's just the medium that I could use that would allow me to get it very perfect, you know. And I always did marker comps. Like, I think all that helps. That, you know, a long time ago, art was really, if you did marketing and advertising, you were hands-on doing artwork all the time. Now it's not, you're on the computer and it's just not the same. Computer does half the work for you. It's goods and bads to it all, right? All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this fun color back here and see how that looks. So, did everyone pick words this year? Last year, like words of things you want to work on or manifest. The last couple of years, I picked like 5 words and I kept forgetting half of them. So this year I just chose 2 words to try to remind myself of every day as goals. And one of them is peace. I mean, peace for the world, but that would be fabulous. But you know, more like my own inner peace, like having moments of peace, feeling peaceful, doing more meditation and yoga, spending time being calm, and not always trying to be doing something every single second of the day. Because I think if I have more peace, I'll be more creative. And the other word I chose, shoot, now I forget what it was. That's crazy. I keep forgetting things. Confidence. Oh, that's why I was telling you this. My other word is confidence because whoops, I dropped my towel. Thank you. Yes, confidence, Lynn, because, I lose my confidence sometimes. And when I do, then it's a vicious cycle. Like, I need confidence to remember that I can paint, because if you sit down to do a painting and you're not sure you can do it, sure as shooting, it's not going to work out. So I really want to work on having the confidence of knowing I am capable of this art thing, because I love doing it. So that's why confidence and peace. They're my 2 words. And if I do half of what I hope to accomplish that this year, I will be happy. Let me get a little bit more of the cobalt green. Oh, this flower is called an ornamental kale. I bought it at Lancaster Central Market on Saturday morning. It's like one of my favorite places. A lot of my inspiration comes from there, because I can walk through market and take pictures of things and come home and be ready to paint them. Sometimes I forget to buy the things I go there for because I'm so busy taking photographs. My husband will tell you that. Yeah, this seems to be very popular right now, the ornamental kale. All right, so that needs to push back a little bit. So maybe I'll do, see how it's kind of a push and a pull, like I pulled that forward and realized this needed to go back. This whole thing. And now that I see this, I need to put some greens in here. And right, whoops, that didn't work, did it? Right here. That's good. I think that's good. Okay. So now this is the really fun part, because it all just starts to come together. It's just adding in the little kisses of color, trying to leave some of the spontaneous stuff that already happened and not cover it all up. I have a few more minutes here. I always try to watch my time, because this will just turn off when it's been an hour. Not right now, not at all. I will probably add in a little, just, balance. I love that, Joanne, too. Every word sounds so wonderful. Like I want all the words. I will add in just a touch of that at the end so that it has the character of it, but I won't do a lot of it, because then I get lost in it, and that's when I start painting, or all the details, and I don't want to do that. So just at the very end, I'll give a little bit to that. See how that light color really brought that forward. This little dark edge here. Okay, I need to mix up a little bit more of my brighter green color. Good morning.
Good morning.
What time do you have to go right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I was gonna have you film me from the back a little bit, but you don't have to.
I can for like a minute.
Okay. Do you want to like pull in a little bit? Tell me if anybody says anything. Brighter green is on this one. Where else do I need to pull it forward? Here. Um, what do you think, Emma? Are there parts I've missed? I gotta work on this tiny little. Oh, I got a little piece of gold on there for my paint stick.
I'm coming in late. You are working on oil, correct?
Who said that? Jeff?
No, somebody
Oh,
said
yes.
that on here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's oil paint. I'm doing a little bit more detail in that area, and I should do a little bit of veining here just to give the personality of the kale. Is the kale
I know, it's upstairs. Alright, I gotta go.
All right.
I gotta be there in 4 minutes.
All right, have a good day. Love you. Okay. Yes, Joanne, you should. They're very fun. All right, and it's getting there. I think I just need to look at a couple little details. What time is it? 55, just on time. I sometimes feel like I've painted like for an hour every morning so much that even when I'm working on my big paintings, after an hour, I'm like, oh, I got to take a break because I'm just used to being finished in an hour, which is crazy. I want to be able to paint for like hours and hours and hours, so I'll get there, right? What am I missing? Just in here, this little. Yeah, I think. Oh, they're called RNF paints. RNF pigment sticks. That's what they're called, and they're really fun. Well, that color's nice, isn't it? I'd have a little dark here that I don't even have any paint on. And see anything I'm missing, forgetting? This has a little shadow in here. And the thing is too, like I could work on this same painting for hours and hours and hours and find things I've missed or need to do, but then it looks overworked. It loses its spontaneity. And that's what I really love about oil paints, are how they are spontaneous. And there, I think that's good. I am, yeah, Ellen, you'll get there. Just keep painting. All right, I'm going to sign it with my little stick. I'll show it to you more closely. Think it's good for me looking in here because I always see little bits then at the end when I look at it in my viewfinder that like, oh, that has a little fun touch of green right in here. Love that. All right, I think I'm done. Thanks for coming and watching today. And I will see you, I think, next Wednesday. I'll let you know here on Instagram. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.